2024 called Your First Million Live, where Issa Rae, Rich Paul, and TLC were just some of the guests. A paid speaker and author of 2 books on major publishers, It's About Damn Time from 2020 and Your First Million from 2024, and so on and so forth. You know me from one or more of these things, and if you did it before, now you do. My skills: I've invested in more than 200 companies. I know a thing or two about making investments in startups and championing underestimated founders. I have a way of storytelling that helps draw people in, and I have a strategic vision that some people say is inspiring. So this sets me apart in a lot of ways from traditional venture capitalists. My network is really interesting. You have people like Mark Cuban, who I have a $6 million joint venture with. I have thousands and thousands of founders in my network that I can call upon at any time, and thousands of investors that I know. And in my close circle, there are doctors and lawyers and authors and teachers and mechanics and all sorts of people who I can call upon and brainstorm with almost any time, and they feel the same way about me. There are people in my network who have made millions and millions of dollars in the last few years alone and live lives that I once only dreamed of. My network helps me amplify my reach and create opportunities for other people. So my impact probably is immeasurable because of so many investments made and so many people watching and being inspired by the work that I do. Effort. This part is important. I have learned to strategically focus my effort by focusing on high impact activities. I also have learned a lot of boundaries and how to say no to 90% of what is offered to me. Make sure you are a subscriber of my YouTube channel and that you hit the like button right now. When you hit the like button, what it does is it tells YouTube and the algorithm that people are interested in this video and that they're watching a lot of it. And then that helps it get seen by more people. There are more impressions, and then it's my job to make people click and to keep people interested. So it'll help me out so much if you hit the like button right now and subscribe. More than 60% of the people who watch my videos do not subscribe to my channel. So if you don't want to miss a video, if you're getting any type of value from this, and if you want more people to learn this equation, hit the like button and subscribe. All right, I want to teach you how to apply this equation in your life starting today. First thing you're going to do is invest in your personal brand. And I mean invest money and time. And if you don't have a lot of money, spend more time. If you don't have a lot of time, spend more money. Your job is going to be to cultivate a compelling and authentic image. So said another way, you're just going to be yourself in front of more people. This starts with some self-reflection. You're going to start to understand what some of your strengths are, your values, your beliefs, what you hold dear, what is true about you, and what makes you unique. And before you say there's nothing that makes you unique, I guarantee you there is. You start with points on board because there's only one of you in the entire world. This introspection, this looking inward, is a crucial first step. The next part of the personal brand is consistency in your messaging. Ensure, for instance, that your online presence is consistent across all of social. If you have a personal website, if you have a LinkedIn, if you have a YouTube, if you have anything online, try to keep it consistent. Now we know we use different platforms for different parts of ourselves, and we contain multitudes. But if someone visits a different page, they should see the same person, maybe just a different mood. And one hack I learned from a guy named Ryan Hoover, who runs Product Hunt, is that you should keep the same image consistently. I have an image that is 8 or 9 years old on my Twitter account, and I refuse to change it because if I change it, I'm disrupting that personal brand that I have created. I'm disrupting that personal brand that I have cultivated for so long. Content creation. Share your knowledge and experience and wisdom with other people through content, like a YouTube channel. I have videos on my channel that teach you how to start a YouTube channel, why you should start one, and how you can actually get paid to promote your company or brand. You also want to engage with your audience once you have one. That's all part of your personal brand. You'll notice that I do that so much, and I've been doing that for more than 20 years. And there are people who have been following me for those 20 years or for 10 years or 5 years, and it's because I responded to a comment or liked something that they posted or retweeted, reposted, shared their stories. That is really how you cultivate your audience. They become part of a community that you're building. Next, you want to enhance your skills. You want to stack your skills. You want to identify where there may be skills gaps. You can take online courses. You can take online quizzes to help you with that. Things of that nature. You can read different job descriptions in your lane and see what you're able to do and what you're not able to do at a job that pays you more than you get paid now. That's one way to understand what skill gap you may have. You're going to do continuous learning, online courses, going to events. You're going to get certified if you need to. And there are really unlimited ways that you can stack your skills. I still do this every single day. I read, I watch a lot of YouTube videos that are tutorials, educational, in my lane, in what I'm interested in. And I'm always trying to get better and smarter and better and smarter every single day. Because when I was broke, I had no money. I was on food stamps 10 years ago or so. And I was trying to raise a venture capital firm that now I have, Backstage Capital. When I didn't know if I was going to eat, what I did know is that I could learn every single day and nobody could take that away from me. So that was an empowering thing for me, is to know no matter what's going on in my life, I can learn and be better than the day before. You also want to do practical application. Don't just learn, you also want to implement. So you can volunteer to do something for someone, you can take on a new project, you can do something that other people get paid to do if you're just learning, so you can become the apprentice for yourself. There are a lot of options there too that you should think about when we're thinking about stacking those skills. Think about when you're trying to learn a new language. You can learn a lot in the textbook and on the app, but until you're talking to someone who speaks that language, it doesn't click all the way. That's what you want to do with all types of learning. While you're learning, keep receipts. You want to be able to later on say what your credentials are, say what you've learned. It doesn't have to be, oh, I went to this college. It just needs to be that you know certain things, that you created a school for yourself. This is what I did, and this is how I made my first million and way beyond. Your network. You are going to build your network starting today. One main way to do this, if you haven't started building your network, I talk about this in another video, where you can have a 5 or 6 person dinner. Maybe you invite 10 people to it and half of them say yes. They come to the dinner, you introduce them to each other. You have everybody go around the table and say who they are and what's important to them. And then you foster conversation. And at some point during that dinner, you're going to say, there's one ask that I have. And you're going to talk to them about maybe one challenge that you have. Do not ask them for money because you just met them or it's not the right time. But ask them, does someone know a mentor? Does someone know the answer to this question I've had? Does someone know how I should approach this challenge because I'm stuck? And that's going to be the beginning of an outpouring of help for you. Because you're fostering that with other people, they're going to want to reciprocate that. So don't expect anything that same day. Do this, have it be a cool experience, and then somewhere in the universe, it'll come back to you. You might want to join a professional group. I have worked with Chief before for women executives. That's a good example. There's so many other examples. I know that Afrotech has an executive program. I know there's so many places you can go, but you want to join these. It doesn't have to be for corporates either. It can be for entrepreneurs. It can be for teachers. It can be for writers. There's so many places. They're all over the internet, and all you need to do is vet it, talk to a few people who are already in the group, and ask to join. And obviously, some of these cost money. And if you can't afford it right now, what did I say before? If you don't have a lot of money, use a lot of time. So maybe there's a bartering thing that you can do, or maybe you're simply going to raise and earn that money by doing other things, and that is going to be your aspirational next step. It's important to engage and contribute during these different social activities. I know for some people that can be difficult, but honestly, even if you offer someone help one-on-one and not in front of a big group, it's going to come back tenfold to you. It's so important that you engage. It's just like being online. You know, the algorithm rewards you when you like other people's content and when you watch other people's content. And you're not just someone who is on a platform only trying to get likes and views. So the more you contribute to the ecosystem, whether that's online or in person, whether that's for a social platform or for a group you're in, that is going to really reward you in the end. Make sure that you follow up. So if you meet someone and you have a great conversation with them, try not to drop the ball there. That's why it's important not to try to meet as many people as possible when you go to conferences or concerts or events. You're trying to meet one or two people that you have a true connection with that you can then follow up with. Impact. For your impact, you want to set clear goals. If you think about me 10 years ago, I said I want to invest in 100 companies led by underrepresented founders by 2020. Now, my venture fund, Backstage Capital, reached 100 companies in May of 2018 because I had that clear vision and that statement of what I wanted to make happen in the world. Yours doesn't have to be that big, it doesn't have to be that impactful just yet, but if you have something where you say, this is a milestone that I want to do, this is why I say write your own headlines. In my first book, It's About Damn Time, there's a whole chapter about writing your own headlines, giving yourself that North Star. Another thing you're going to do, which is also part of effort, is you're going to identify high impact activities, things that over-index on outcomes or less amount of time or effort. And make sure that you prioritize things that align with what you want and what you want the world to look like. Again, you're going to measure and document. You're going to keep the receipts because what you're going to do with that later, you're going to use those earned achievements in so many ways. For instance, maybe you'll write a book of your own. Or if you already have a book, maybe there are 2 or 3 more books in you. But it's that lived experience, that impact, and that documenting that gets you there. So the big one is effort. If you can get the effort right and calibrate it to be optimized, you're going to be unstoppable. Just what I said about impact, you're going to optimize for high impact, lower effort. And this is not because we're going to be lazy. This is because the more leverage we have, the more we'll be able to do in our lifetime and impact the world. You want a high ROI, return on investment, when it comes to your time and your effort. One way to do this really well is to delegate and outsource. There's a book called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell that I want you to pick up or listen to the audio version as soon as you can. And this will show you how to take back your life, buy back your time, so that you can focus on only the highest impact activities. You're also going to use technology and tools, and yes, even AI, to collapse very fortunate people. We live in a very opportune time where things take so much less time to accomplish than they have in the past. So you're going to turn those tools that you may be afraid of right now into a jetpack. I said before that one of the things that has helped me make my first million and beyond is creating boundaries for myself. I used to have no boundaries whatsoever. Now I have strict boundaries. Who I speak with, who I spend time around, whose energy gets to be around me, what I say yes to, and what I say no to. These are so important. I'll give you a quick example. A few weeks ago, I had a 3 or 4 week stretch of travel, appearances, paid speaking, all sorts of things that were a high responsibility for me that I was excited to do. But I found myself so burnt out because I had been on the talk about starting at scratch, you kind of have to not be negative. So let me tell you, I know a ton about debt. In fact, I know about it today. I know what debt is. But it was that debt that was hanging over me like a cloud when I started Backstage Capital, when I started on my journey. I was 35 years old, and I had so much debt. You may have debt from school, you may have debt from credit cards, you may have tried to take out loans and have all kinds of like Band-Aid fixes. I understand what that's like, and I understand what that feels like. Let me just tell you something. I'll tell you a secret that I learned from millionaires. You're going to take on more debt than you ever imagined. Debt is actually something that can be used in a positive way as a leverage. But for now, what you want to do is get yourself out of personal debt so that you can start at zero, so that you can start with a clean slate. There is a book by Tiffany the Budgetista where she talks about getting out of debt. There is a book by Jamila Sufrant where she talks about getting out of 6 figures of debt with her husband. You want to get both of these books, download them, read them, because they're going to help you so much over the next few weeks. Step 3, what is your unique advantage? Call it unfair advantage, which kind of sounds bad, but it's actually a really good thing. What's something about you that's an unfair advantage that gives you a leg up? There's so many times when we feel like we are held back by certain things in our life. Let's flip that. What's something that your experience, your talent, your skill, your willingness to do, people you know, even if they're not celebrities or rich people, what's something that if you spent a few minutes or a few hours writing down, thinking through, you could find your unique advantage? One of mine, especially when I don't have like the capital, is that I can communicate really well. I used to have ridiculous, debilitating stage fright until I was 30, almost 37. So I couldn't spread my message that way. I do that now. I get paid to do it most times. But even then, when I couldn't speak big stages, I could write, or I could go on video, or I could do audio, or I could type out on social. I could communicate. And I used my ability to communicate to then build community, to build a world where people wanted to be part of something. Even as recently as my event, Your First Million Live, that happened in LA, 2,000 people came to it from all over the world. People said the biggest takeaway was the people in the room. Like, people on stage were cool, and the venue was awesome, and the music was great, but it was the people who were attending that was like the biggest takeaway for most people that we're hearing from. And that's because of years and years and years of cultivating that ambiance, that community. That came from communication. So that was my unfair advantage early. It's still my unfair advantage. It's still something that helps me in rooms with millionaires and billionaires, because a lot of millionaires and a lot of billionaires cannot adequately express themselves. Isn't that interesting? They can't do that. So when I was learning all of this information years ago, I did what I could call becoming money. I became money. I put the information in my head. I could control how much I learned every day. I then took that information and I used it to exchange with someone, with an investor, for capital to start my fund, because I had the information she wanted and needed, and she had the capital that I wanted and needed. We exchanged that, and then I exchanged my information for money because it was already money. So all of these things, thinking through life in these ways, communicating a certain way, having these phrases, be yourself, so the people look before you can find you. It's a phrase that I came up with. Be the money. There's so many more. The way that I communicate, the way that I'm talking to you right now, all of this is part of it. What is your unfair advantage? What do you do really well? What do you love doing? What do people compliment you on? What do people ask you to do for them, help them with? And then what does the market bear? What is something that you can monetize? This is where you're going to start to figure out this first 1,000, this first 10,000. Step number 4 is we're going to find our focus. There are a million things that you can be doing. There's so many opportunities for you, especially today. You're going to think about one of them. Because if you try to do 5, 6 things, even 2 things, you're only going to do half as well if it's 2. And you're going to split 100% of yourself into these parts. But if you focus on one and you stay the course and you do it well and you learn from it, you iterate, change what you need to change as you go along, it gets better, 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 better. You focus, you have a chance of reaching your first $10,000. Danielle Leslie, I interviewed her several months ago, and she talked to me about her first million through teaching courses, right? She said that for, I think it was like 16 months, she would do a webinar once a week, every single week, without fail, no matter how many people were on the webinar, no matter how many sales she made. And she did that for so long. And over 16 months, she made some pretty good money. She made a few $1,000s. Then there was this inflection point that hit, and she started making six-figure days because she was so focused. She couldn't have done that in month 1 because month 7, 9, 15 had the lessons learned. She also got better at her pitch. She also got better at her communication. She also got her processes better. All of that happened because of focus. And she wasn't over here and over there and everywhere. Now you might say, well, Arlen, I heard that you have more than a company, you're an entrepreneur, you're an investor, you're a speaker, author. You were right. You were absolutely correct. But I was not that for 7 years. For 7 years, from 2015 on, I worked day and night and day on Backstage Capital. And what did that get me? 200 plus investments. 30 investments in funds, other people's funds. Got me on the cover of Fast Company. It got me on the cover of Black Enterprise. It got so much money. And then I started to branch out and say, now let me start a fractional recruiting company that is very helpful to our portfolio. Now let me start this company or inspire this company or work with these founders. That's when you can start to branch out. But first, focus. To make the first $1,000 in the next 7 days, you're going to focus on this framework that I teach, which is teach, show, do. Teach. You could literally create a course. I love using teachable.com. I will put a link in the description for my page on Teachable. I love Teachable because it's easy to use. I have dozens of courses on Teachable. I have 2 academies. I have signature courses and free courses, and it runs the gamut. So you can teach something. If you want to learn more about that, look at the Danielle Leslie interview that I did, the Amy Porterfield video that I show. What do I mean by that? Well, you can take what you're teaching and actually show someone one-on-one or in a group setting how to do what you taught them about. So in the teacher, kind of introducing them to the concept and letting them know why they need this thing, why they need to learn it, what it is. And in the show, it's more intimate, it's more one-on-one, or it's more like in a small group setting where they're not just watching a video of you, you're actually maybe on a Zoom and they paid you to be on that consulting. You're maybe their coach. Maybe you're working with them for a day or for a year, but you have something where you're working with them, you're doing a mastermind, all sorts of ways that you can show. And in this first 1,000, what I would do, let me tell you what I would do right now if I were trying to make $1,000 quick, 7 days. I would choose the show because you have teach, that would be great. If I could spin up a $50 course and sell 20 of those, I would do that too. But the show is kind of cool. I would say, what am I good at? And what does someone else need? Then I would decide on that. I would go to Zoom, I would set it up and link it to PayPal or link it to Stripe. Then I would go on social and I would go into my own pocket and pull out names. And I'm talking about when I'm broke. I'm not talking about like me today. I'm talking about me 10 years ago. I'd pull out my phone if I had the technology we have today. And I would say, for $100, for $200, for $300, I will jump on a Zoom with you for 30 minutes or an hour, and I will consult with you. I actually did this back in the day. I did this with phone calls. So I used to have this blog that had 50,000 people who looked at it every single month, and that was awesome. So I would do these calls, consulting calls for $30 an hour or half an hour, $30 for half an hour, and I'd tell people how to build their blogs. And anytime I was like really desperate for money, which is a lot of time, I would do this, and people would pay me because I would give them more value than what they were paying me. That's the important part. Like, you're giving them value. Why would you hold that back from them? If they don't want to buy that from you, they won't. Trust them, they won't.
But there are people right now who really want what you have, and they need help, and you have the help to give them, and you want to exchange that fair value. So that's what I would do. Let's say, can I get 5 phone calls in the next 7 days? It costs $200 each, and I give them $2,000 worth of value. I give them everything I have, help them with whatever I can in an hour, and get the first 1,000. Then the third way is do, and that way is actually quite lucrative if you do it right. Sometimes people learn from you on the teach. They learn from you on the consulting and in the show, but they don't have time to do the thing you're teaching. So they may just come to you and say, hey, can you do this for me? Instead of you teaching me how to spin up a website that has the best funnel and the best ... can you just make it for me? I have spent so much money on all 3. I have spent so much money on courses to this day. I will buy a course like it's my job, because it kind of is. I'll buy a course. I'm always learning and love to learn, and I love to learn from courses online. So I'll buy a course almost every week. Then on the show, I have spent so much money on conferences. That's another version of the show. If you want to check out my new events course, check the link below, because that will blow your mind if you're thinking about how do I put on an event. Let me show you. I put on a 2,000 person event in LA this year, and this course will take you from not knowing anything about putting on an event to starting your own event, launching it within days. Anyway, I digress. Then I spend a lot of money on certificates and events, consulting one-on-one. I will go to masterminds. I will have people coach me. I will do VIP days with people. There are people you can pay who like you admire. Pay them enough money, they will spend a day with you and just tell you everything you know, and they'll tell you how to do it. It's like one of the best hacks I've ever found. It's absolutely amazing. So a lot of times when I do a launch, I'm launching so I can earn enough money to pay someone who has made millions of dollars doing one thing, to pay them for a day of their time teaching me how to do it. It's the best investment. But on the do side, I've spent the most, because I understand that time is money. So if you can do something for me that saves me time, and I don't have to figure all of this out on my own, you better believe I'm going to find a way to pay you. You can become invaluable in this way. So are you going to teach? Are you going to show? Or are you going to do? Select one and then go for it. Get that first 1,000. And then get that first 10,000. To get to your first 10,000, there's a step 6 that's pretty important. You're going to make 3 key decisions. You're making these decisions because you have to ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Is this something I want to continue? Is it sustainable? First question you're going to ask yourself is simply, do I keep going or do I stop? Is this working? Is this something I'm enjoying? Is it good to do? Like, should I keep going? Or do I need to pivot, rethink this? The second question you have to ask yourself, if you decide to keep going, is, am I a salesperson and a visionary? Or am I a builder? Now, sometimes this can be the same person. Very, very cool when it is. But lots of times it's not. It's 2 separate people. And one of the people finds the other person to make it work. For instance, I'm like a vision person. I don't like to call myself a visionary. I think it's very promising. But I have vision, and I also like to market and sell, and I like to bring people in and create a community. But I am not the best at building out systems that execute. So what I like to do is I like to have these bold, ambitious, moonshot ideas that go way beyond most people that I know. And I step out on faith. I take the risk for almost everyone involved. And I say yes when I do this. Then I find the people who I think can make the vision. And I don't have the ego that says, oh, I have to do everything because I'm so great at everything. I'm not. I'm really, really good at launching and really, really good at bringing people together. So which one are you? Are you sales or build or both? The third decision you have to make is this a company or kind of a feature, right? Is it a full-fledged company where you need to incorporate and you need to put systems and process? Or is this something that you do on the side that is just every once in a while you'll kind of launch this theme or you have this course in the background? Now, don't let this be accounting or tax advice. Sometimes you have to really think about that no matter what you consider it. So talk to Revel CPA, revelcpa.com/Arlen to learn more about if your company is a company. Step 7 is decide who your audience is. Who is your customer? Who is that avatar? You probably heard this word before. It's like avatar, you know, in the movie, but it's like really like, and who is the person who's buying from you? The demographics are important, but the psychographics are even more important. You know, what do they like? What do they feel? What are their opinions? Those types of things. You can look up psychographics to learn more about that. But you're pretty much just putting together like you're creating a person. And you're saying, who is this ideal customer? For me, for instance, my ideal customer is a woman of color who is 35 to 55 years old and is some sort of executive or someone who's starting a company or has a company, and they're successful and they feel like they have not completely reached their potential. There's something missing in their life. There's some direction or inspiration that's missing, and they want to make a big impact on the world. That's my main customer. You may be watching this and saying, that's me. Oh my God, how did she know? Or you may be watching this and saying, that is not me. She got it wrong. They didn't get it wrong necessarily. You have a core customer, and then you have, of course, people outside the core. There are layers to it. So you're going to have women across the board. You may have women then of all ages. Then you may have men of color. Then you may have, you know, ... And certainly there are white men in my audience. There are people from all over the world in my audience. The point of it is, who is that person that you're talking to? Right now, right in this moment, I have an avatar in my mind of who I'm talking to. It is really difficult to talk into a camera by yourself. It's not the easiest, naturalist thing in the world. But the way I do it is, I think of this particular woman that I want to win. I want her to win. And so I'm having this conversation with you. I'm saying, I hope she hears this. I know what she might feel if she hears this. That's what you should do next. Who is that person for you? This is one of the most fun, fulfilling, exciting parts of the whole journey. The next step is you're going to create an offer. You can't just say, well, I have this customer and I have this product and I'm just going to hope that they buy it at this price. You could, but it's not going to take you very far. You want to be very specific with your offer. You want to let people know the value of it. So you also want to have a container for this. Is it a website? Is it a landing page? There's so many different tools you can use. Look them up. There's like websites. You can have like a Shopify. You can have card with 2 R's, CARRD. There's some great landing pages there. Where are you going to house this? Is it going to be a Stripe link? Where is the money going? Right? The thing your offer is, what is the value you're offering? What is the specific deliverables that you're giving to somebody? Are they getting a phone call with you? Are they getting PDFs? Are they getting a list? Are they getting SaaS, software as a service, some sort of tech? What are they getting? Create this offer very specifically. Look at other people's examples. Think about something you purchased recently. What did that landing page look like? What did they say to you? Did they have a video? Did you find them on social? Did they have a form to fill out? Did they have testimonials? Probably. If you want to think about offers, Alex Hormozi has a great book called $100 Million Offers. Check out his offers book. You can pick it up anywhere or listen to the audio, which is what I did. But you want to get your offer set. Before we get to the final step to you making your first $10,000, I want to remind you that if you want more information like this, where I'm telling you how you can make your first million, you have to subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you won't be alerted to my next video, and you won't know that I'm giving this information week after week after week. Check back here. You can also go to yourfirstmillion.tv anytime to go through all the videos that I have, pick up the knowledge and the info. Okay, the final step to your first 10,000. You're gonna sell, baby. You're gonna sell, sell, sell. Even if you're not a salesperson, you're gonna sell. And by the way, earlier I said you can either be a salesperson or a builder. Learn to sell no matter what. Gary Vaynerchuk said to me at Your First Million Live that if you're great at sales, that means you're bad at marketing. Think about that. It's something to think about. But first, get good at sales too. The most successful people I know how to sell. And maybe they did it at first, but they taught themselves. They figured it out in their own way. It does not mean you have to be cringe or a used car salesperson. It doesn't mean you have to be slimy. or desperate. I say stay hungry, not thirsty. But you have to know how to communicate to your potential customers. It's a thing that is going to make sure that you are never homeless like I was 10 years ago. You don't want to be in a position where you can't do anything for yourself. Sales get you out of that position. It's done it for me, and it does not have to be slimy. So you're going to learn that, and you're going to go out there and you're just going to try. You're going to make your offer, whether it's through an email list that you're building, social, your friends, your contacts, somebody you used to work for, somebody you work for now. Be careful there though. You're going to make your first sale. And when you make your first sale, know this, you can do anything if you can sell. If this inspires you and you're thinking, I love this, I made my first 1,000, I'm going to make my first 10,000, I actually should quit my job. Before you quit your day job, watch my video where I tell you if and when you should quit your day job to follow your passion and your side hustle.
You gotta start trading time for money. You gotta start learning how to make your money work for you. You gotta learn how to give value to people. I didn't learn that message. The value part, I didn't learn that until I started my business. And I was like, I have never heard nothing like that. Was like, I think you gotta have a dream.
The School of Greatness.
Yeah.
Please welcome Miss House.
When did you realize that you were going to start learning about financial literacy, and then what did it look like when you got out?
Oh man, so, you know, born and raised in New Orleans, first and foremost, and New Orleans has always been a city that I feel is full of culture, right? And on the front side, people look for food and
Music.
you know, the good times. But there's a part of New Orleans that also is on the other side that gets a lot of light, which is it being a murder capital, high crime, right? A lot of poor, a lot of underdeveloped people, financially, just in so many different ways. And so I grew up in that. Saw my mom get shot when I was 9 years old.
Saw her get shot.
I saw her get shot when I was like 9, maybe like 100 yards away from me.
Wow.
So immediately I had a connection and understanding of violence. Right, so at 9 years old, kind of like when I got older, like I now think about how that played in my brain over and over and over again. And so,
when a kid sees violence at an early age in the family, what does that do to the kid? Does it normalize it? Does it make them want to be more violent, be less violent, like and run away from it? What happens?
So what it did for me was it did two things. One, it made me realize that violence in my environment was a necessary evil.
To do what? Protect yourself?
Protect whatever, like, if anything happened, violence was down the first result. No matter what that violence looked like, whether it was fighting, whether it was shooting, whether it was like, okay, if someone could shoot my mother,
Wow.
then they can shoot me. So now I'm automatically in protect mode. Okay, cool, this is what it is. But also it becomes a tool for regulation. Like you start to understand, like, okay, like violence is what gives me respect. Violence is what keeps me from being a prey, right? And so you just start to normalize it. It's like I said this to somebody before. I said, if you come to New Orleans and you're in a park and a gun goes off, if there's a bunch of kids in the park, I can almost guarantee you they won't run. They know the protocol. They know to get down, look both ways, see where the gunshot's coming from, and then go the opposite way. That is normalized. That's trauma. No kid should understand the protocol to what to do with
For a
violence.
gunshot.
Yeah. But it's like understood. Like I even knew it at a young age. I would be inside. Gunshots ring, first thing we do, we get under the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like this is understood. So
It's like in school they teach you like when
stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah. It's like when there's a tornado, a warning, a siren. It's like here's what to do.
This is what you do. So it's like a survival handbook, but in real time. And you also see that no age limit is off limits to getting killed.
Wow. Because young kids are getting shot up.
Yeah, like it's happening. So you start to understand, like, okay, this is my environment. Me seeing guns, me seeing drugs, prostitution. All right, cool. This doesn't scare me no more. I get it. All right, cool. So now I have to now walk around and understand how that feels. I have to walk around knowing if I don't do the right things, that could be me at a young age, right? So
you have to educate yourself on violence and,
Early.
and protecting yourself and being aware of what to do and how to get out of situations and how
Oh,
to
yeah.
defend yourself.
conflict resolution,
Yeah.
like all of those things are apparent at a young age. Even when it comes down to even just like bare fist fights, like you understand that if I don't handle this situation right here, right now, then it's certain things in this neighborhood I will not be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I will not be able to go to this store if I let him or whoever they are take this dollar from me, or 50 cents from me.
Well, I want you to be able to go to the store.
Because now every time they see you,
They take more.
it's gonna take more.
Yeah. Unless you defend yourself.
And it's either gonna be, man, it ain't even worth my time going over there messing with him, man.
Right.
Let's
I don't
go get
deal
something.
with it.
Yeah, I don't got time to hear that. He
Go
gonna
on
be
this
one
side
of
of
us.
the town
Let me
this
go
time.
over there. Yeah, right. So it's like
It's
you
like
start
the
to
bully in
understand
school.
that.
It's like the bully keeps beating you up until you stand up to the bully.
Yep. And then the thing about the bully is the bully never really wants a tough fight. And why would I do something tough when I could go where it's easy at? Right? So you just start to understand those things. You like, you know what? And then you start hearing things in the street, like if people tell you stuff like, if let's say you go home, you my uncle, you send me to the store, and I come back and be like, oh man, such and such done took it from me. Or don't come back in here until you either come back with what I gave you, or you come in here bloody.
Prove me.
Right?
Yeah.
Show me that somebody, and now we gonna go out there and take care of that. So now, like, those are the realities at a young age, and it doesn't say, okay, you're too young for this. Nah, it's whenever it happens, you gotta be, and so now you develop that mindset, that mentality.
See, I forgot to do the final check on ability points. I can put 1 ability point on offense. So he gives me this fucked up jersey again.
to part two of making Tesla drive. This is pure strength. Haymakers, more haymakers, more haymakers. Pull him back, get off your back.
Alright, I had to mute that fucking retard. The reason I play a bunch of stupid ass shit, I mean, might as well make fucking sense. But some people are too developmentally delayed to make any fucking sense. They're bereft of any form of common sense whatsoever, and you get idiots like fucking this. That's what sucking dick will do, just fucking make you retarded. That might be the president's first pick. Hasn't played a whole lot. I got Legions of Boom chemistry rocking to the max right now, so I definitely had to get him in there. That was a beautiful fucking throw right there. Shmulia on kick. Shmulio. Her cousin's coming in, dropping them bizzity bizzons, boy. Keep the lead, baby. Damn, a dude didn't do his signature shit. Oh, that's no. I thought it was the other dude. Chris Harris has a signature, not Sleeve. Chris Harris has like the Jesus Christ pose or the Eagle Wings pose, signature celebration. Got them mixed up. I haven't had these motherfuckers on the field together in a while, or at all in a while. Oh, dude, god damn. Dude, what the fuck? The fuck? The fuck was that shit? Oh, Vic, I haven't seen it in a while, but Vic does have that one badass. He does a spin move where he kneels on the ground, kneels on one knee, or almost on one knee or some shit. I guess it is one knee, and then gets up. I got Vic just to get him. I haven't used him that much, but I saw him do it once this year at least. That was a great catch. What the fuck? Show us dance, dude. They really can't fucking get a better camera angle than that. Up some dude's fucking ass, dude. What the fuck? I haven't seen his signature dance yet, so that's what I was wanting to see. Or if I did, I don't fucking remember. I haven't seen him when I scored, because I think maybe the first touchdown, rushing touchdown I scored with him right there. But maybe not, I don't know. But Marty's been Papa Pick for a while now. Oh shit. Hell yeah, baby. Cheetah. Cheetah. Dude, that's a gay ass dance, man. Dude, that was a work of art right there, baby. 61 more yards is 25,000. 4 more interceptions, so that's 50,100. We got 300,000. Put me right there before the golden ticket. I can probably get there tonight. No, 51 more yards. My bad. 51 more passing yards and 4 more interceptions. Dude, I could easily get there tonight.